Hello everybody, so today we are VOD reviewing a PC Gold 5 Furia, and we are apparently on Fish Market. Um, so reminder that you can get your own VOD done if you're interested in that, either by posting the match ID in the YouTube comments, in the Discord, or live on stream. So, cool. In the match ID, they said, so I played for the first time in a long time, and I think I could have died less and optimized my healing priority a lot more. Just in general, I feel like I underperform on supports, rarely breaking 100k. See, I died less than the Ceres, and she has 30k more than me. Cool. So, something... I wouldn't necessarily judge how well you perform just purely off numbers. Normally the number that you hear, right, is 10k per minute. 10k per minute. That's like not always what's going to happen because there's like a lot of things that's going to impact that, like the number of tanks that you have. If you only have a barrack, you just get you can't heal this Koa. They have a Nando, you have a barrack. That means that like the Nando's going to take more healing. Like there's a lot of things that can impact it. Generally, you're going for 10k per minute because that's at the very least what was achievable on every support in standard comps if you played it well. I'm not really sure if that's still realistic, but like that's, I don't know, old habit of mine to go for 10k per minute. So for build here, you are okay, cool. So the first thing is that this card I think should be at 5 because I think this card is broken. This card is like, it's like 100 and something ish healing per second. So it's very good. This card is broken. I don't think you should not be running it at 5. This is fine. This, okay. This one right here, just I just give it base ammo just because. Okay, so the difference between Inner Fire and Pyretic Dynamo, I think, is just like the flat ammo card. The difference between the two is that base ammo is going to give you better DPS matchups, right? You're just going to have more ammo for your fights because you're not really healing during your fights. Like if the buck jumps on you, well, you're kind of focused on shooting him and dealing with him rather than healing, right? So you're just not going to be proccing Inner Fire very often. Inner Fire itself is good for tank burn, right? So like if you're not under a lot of pressure, and the fight might be going on for a while, this will give you more ammo over a long period of time. I think that you should 100% have base ammo here because I think that it's frequently the difference for me. Like that extra ammo is frequently the difference between having enough ammo to finish a 1v1 or some sort of fight or whatever and having to reload mid-fight, which usually will lose you that fight. So I think it's really good. I think you should ideally run both. But you are running Lightforge. I don't think this is valuable. I think. Okay, so this is like this effect right here is like really good, right? This is nuts, right? It's like Damba runs Swift Spirits for a reason, right? Because it's like speed for teammates and speed for you is a really good effect. The thing is though, is that you have to give up some of this and some of this and some of this, and you have to give up like that the base ammo. So this card is really good. Furia's other cards are better, I think, because like with Furia, right, you're kind of like trying to be aggressive, right? That's kind of like if you have a Furia, your comp is aggressive because if you play anything else, like you're probably just gonna lose pretty slowly. So you kind of need to step up the pace and go in, right? And speed is good for that, but extra ammo, extra HP, extra sustain tends to be a bit better. And I prefer this should be like higher in my opinion. You can get away with it, especially if a Makoa who's going to be taking a lot of heals. But overall, I think you kind of need this at a higher level. But that is kind of personal preference. You can run this if you want. I would 100% put this at 5. This is a lot of like writing, but this at 5. This should be base. And honestly, you might want to consider making this card inner fire. That is up to you. That's if you really want speed, which I don't think you do. But that is personal preference, honestly. I just do not think it is the best option. You should go Chronos here. Yep. So team comps. Okay, so again, you have the Furia, so you're probably being pretty aggressive. The only situation where that doesn't happen if it's like some sort of double support thing, or if your like team comp is really self-sustaining. Like if you had a Con or an Ashe, maybe you could play Furia in not always an aggressive way, but as is, you probably do want to go in. They kind of have more damage. It's weird. Does your Cassie have Megaton or not? Because that actually kind of matters. She doesn't. Okay, that's Exaction too. Okay. Weird talent choices across the board. And that just kind of like matters versus the Victor, right? Because if you can bump around the Victor, you can kind of mess them up pretty bad. So they probably have a better range fight, especially early. Early is gonna suck for you guys. So I mean, you're Fury. You're gonna be aggressive. So let's see. It's enough talking, honestly. But let's get into it. Early dismount, which you hate to see. Okay, so two habits right off the bat that you see pretty commonly. I feel like at some point there's going to be a video of like the common mistakes that I see in VODs, and I'm just going to like, whenever I do a VOD, I'm just going to link that video. Early dismounts and wasting ammo. So shooting teammates is just like a common support thing. It just happens. I don't know why it happens, but everyone seems to shoot their teammates in walls, and it just don't. Like, it's really obvious to say, but it's like a habit you should probably try to break. And early dismounting, right? Is this like where you want to be? Like, you kind of just did spend a little bit of time like walking up here, right? You'd rather, if you had a mount, you could do it faster. If you had a mount, you'd be following these people. Who cares if your barrack has to play slow? You're a fast comp. Who cares if your main tank has to play a little slow? Boot these people. Be following up on the Saris before she gets to shadow travel. Now your team is there, which is great. But yeah. I definitely get more involved. Yep. Not the biggest fan of that beam. So I think, just to talk about like how Fish Market works for a bit, right? There's an invisible wall here, which is great. Fish Market. Oh, okay. Love to see that the camera gets affected by heavy walls. Fish Market is basically the objective and like the box around it. So usually I draw like lanes on Fish Market, or on maps and VOD reviews, but Fish Market is really easy because it's really just a box around a circle. Nothing else matters. Like if you're playing down here, sure, you can maybe get some GE flanks off, but you're not contesting any important space. So being down here is basically like the point. Wait, can I? Okay, the point is that being down here is worse than being up here, and I think you kind of tried to hard commit with your Makoa, which is like why you dash down. But if you're gonna do that, you keep hard committing. You don't like commit and then not, because you're just not in a great spot right now. That being said, your entire team is down here, so it's a bit awkward. So again, I'm not a fan of these spammy beams, but I'd rather they be more, you know, consistent. And I'm not a fan of you staying on the objective. Yeah. I mean, there's not much to say there. Like, you were on the objective. You could have min-maxed your cooldowns a little bit. You could have had a better build. You still die, though, just because you're on the point while a fight is happening, right? Come on, what is my game? You don't want to work there? There we go. Hey, you dismounted early again. Now you're back because he's contesting. So one thing I will say is that, like, you are shooting currently this Nando, right? That's great, but I want to point out, like, 3 different things that are happening at the same time. 1, this Victor, who is, I would argue, infinitely more valuable than the Nando. 2, your Cassie, who's about to be fighting these 2 people. And 3, your Xin, who's who's currently about to lose in a 1v1 to yours on. This is not where you want to be. You, like, your barrack is... I don't even... Where did your barrack even go? Is he like... Oh my god, wait. What kind of... Okay, fuel efficiency, I think that's what that card's called. The dot. He's out. So you guys just lose, probably, which is unlucky. But your team is also taking all these side fights that I really think you could be having an impact on. Your Cassie's currently 1v1ing their Saris right now. If you had someone manage to get yourself over there, guarantee, like, shots from you plus blast shot combo from the Cassie kills the Saris maybe before she gets into shallow travel. But you peel instead. The Victor gets peel. Yeah. So far it's just like tiny positioning things. It's not even heal priority, it's just like you need to you were so far away to like you were so far away from things that it like almost didn't matter what your heal priority was, if that makes sense. Because like you didn't really have those options available to you because you were by yourself. Let's follow this beam, right? What is the beam gonna do? Stuns the buck, might stun the Saris? No? Okay. Let's say that the beam had stunned all three of them. Let's say the Nando had dashed back and it stunned them. Let's say the Azana came back. He would hit 5 people with this beam. It still doesn't do anything. You know? You want to save beam for when it confirmed gets value. Also, I'd 100% be popping all Furia, it's broken. And you are somehow managing to get a fight. Like, okay. Fish Market mid-fight is a box around a circle, right? The push on Fish Market is a hill. So the thing about Fish Market, right, is that the other team pushes like this, and this is very long. Then there's a much shorter push over the hill. The thing is that this is very hard to break out of as a defender, right? Like you put one person on here, and then like everyone else kind of just like pushes up on whatever, or something like that. And it's really hard to like actually get a fight. So the fact that you guys are getting a fight before the hill is super insane. And if you win this fight, then you can bring the fight to their hill. And like, that's so good. So I don't 100% be popping ult here. Go for it. You could stun that. Yeah, okay, you could have stunned that. Using his 1 HP behind. Oh, not there. Ooh, okay. Well, you know what? You could have healed him, sure, maybe, but he also should not have run into 5 people with 1 HP. However, if you Fury ult, I don't think you have to worry about that. It's like this beam right here. If you were to beam like that is on, beam that Fernando, that'd be really helpful because it's people that are getting shot. Also, do you think so far that Light Forge has gotten a lot of value? Because I haven't really seen it personally. Like, I'll keep looking for it, but like I don't think it's really done much for you. I think that having more HP would be more valuable if you got more aggressive, but you haven't really done much that's aggressive so far. Like, you kind of, you know, you've been close to people. Okay. In an ideal world, you've ulted previously and then don't have your ult to waste it here. That being said, I do think this is a waste. Because... Listen. Okay, Fury ult is like the best ult in the game, so not having it for a mid-fight really kind of sucks. And I know you're probably thinking, well, there's like a minute and 13 left. Right. Let's go back to that, though. Cool, you Fury ult. I'd definitely like to see you be more aggressive in the Koa. Again, you're kind of shooting tanks. I'm like, I mean, sure, that's going to give you a lot of damage, going to charge your ult fast if that's what you're looking to do, but, you know. And there's a beam that sort of gets wasted. Cool. Now the fight's basically over. And it's like, okay, well now is when you start to build ult charge. So it's like 15-20 seconds have passed. So like, you Fury ult, then you win the fight, and then the other team has to respawn. Alright? Like, you still have to build your ult to get it back. You are currently not really on pace to do that. And they stagger, so you should really not be on pace to do that. I'd be playing farther back. Like, holding up like this on Fish Market is very bad because it gives, like, there's no way you can watch like everywhere. Like, the other team is gonna get some sort of flanky nonsense going on, right? So pushing up this far again, the hill. Praise be to the hill. Stop shooting walls.
30 seconds left.
What's stopping someone from like flanking right now? And what do you do if someone flanks right now? It's pretty bad. Yeah, so unless you know that you can 100% get out of LOS of that Sarah Assault, save your dash. Like, just get pulled and then try to dash out, otherwise you're probably just gonna waste dash and get pulled. So see how, like, 0 seconds, you have 50% ult charge back, even though you ulted with like over a minute left, right? But then you won the fight, and now you don't have much time to build your ult. This, by the way, this sort of fight right over here, this is exactly what you want to be looking for as a support. This is like perfect because like the buck has just committed. You can show up, say hi. Actually, my DPS is winning this fight, and then your DPS wins that fight, and then like that's awesome. But instead, because you kind of just like mounted back into mid, it's not great. Even now your Xin is pushing the buck. He's probably gonna lose it too. This buck is pounding. Like, imagine if you're there. That's like 3 shots from you, 1 shot from the Zen, maybe. Like, your barrack's fine. Imagine if your barrack has 1,000 less HP. Who cares? It's a barrack. What? Oh no. He's gonna have to use a defensive cooldown. He has like 4. Goes in. Cool. Be careful here because you don't know that someone might be coming around on your right side, and this is why wasting beam is risky, right? Because like, tell me for sure that you don't know, like you have no way of knowing if someone is coming up on your right side, especially if audio bugs in the game right now. You have no way of knowing consistently if someone is coming up on your right side. So what if they do? Well, ideally, right, your position is fixed a little bit. You're hugging this corner instead of just being out in the open, and then also, if they push you and you're on a corner, you use beam, they get stunned. You probably win that. But you don't have beam. So, but you do build ult back, which is great. You bought morale, which is a good call. So far it's just like looking for those side fights. Get out of mid. You're Furia. Like, if you were like a Damba and Ara sort of thing, yeah, sure, you might want to play off point. You're Furia. You're Furia though, you know? You want to go in. Go backline.
Capture point spawns in 15 seconds.
If you dismount early again. Okay, so 2 things. 2 things. One is that your team's rollout sucks. It sucks because you are leaving your barrack up to dry. No one is stopping the other team from just mounting away. You know how I said staying on your mount is like really good? This is part of the reason why. Like, imagine you're this Saris, right? Okay, well, first of all, this heal's doing nothing, right? But if she stays on mount, what you can do is she can literally just like mount away from you guys, and you guys have wasted furia ult. So there's 2 things I would have done differently because you can't really control your team. The first is I probably would have, if you are planning on furia ulting, right? You probably heal your barrack first because that gives you wrath and also prevents your barrack from getting absolutely screwed over. And then, yeah, I guess you just, I mean, like, this is just an awkward situation then. Because they're just going to run away. Or they're not just going to run away, I guess. Okay, so your team does get on top of them. That's great. You Fury ulted. Congrats, your team won because Fury ult is broken. However, what have you done? You gave them this great Fury ult, right? Awesome. Good job. Then you heal your barrack for 500 HP. And did nothing else. So this is cool, and your team does manage to like push them back, so you do get that kill. That's nice. If you follow your team, though, guarantee it gets easier. Guarantee your Zen isn't hiding at 1 HP. Guarantee your Cassie isn't dead. right? It's like, here, we're gonna rewind. We're gonna rewind. And you're not gonna have a weapon for the rest of the game. But that's okay, because this skin isn't my favorite. Okay, so let's see right here. Heal, alt. Cool, maybe come around. Dash. Following these people, shooting the Nando. Walking around. Heal the Zen. Maybe still walking around. Maybe you're here at this point. Maybe you have dash back again. Healing your Cassie, shooting these on. Heal your Zen, because now your Cassie's still alive. Walk up, finish this dude. You get less done, right? You get less done, but that's realistically because your team's rollout was garbage, right? Like, I guarantee you more times than not, they're going to try to beat you and you're not going to get into this yin and yang thing. Actually, the smarter option, now that I think of it, because my brain's dumb, is to not dismount at all. Is to not dismount at all and just keep going. So actually, yeah, that's what you should have done. Don't dismount. Wait until you get on top of them and then fury ult. That would have been 10 times better. Now they're all dead, so you can do whatever you want. Get on to point. You have like 50% ult charge back. That's pretty cool. Who did you kill? You can probably you can stand like almost right on these lines, but like if you're standing here, you can still cap, guarantee it. The point's a bit more forgiving than you might think. Again, I don't like that beam, but I'm really hoping that you get punished for wasting these beams at some point, so I can tell you I told you so. Walk up to him, put beam on forehead. Yep. You could leave. Yeah. You 100% had a way to leave. So like again, like as soon as it starts getting iffy for you, right? Especially if they're not at 99, just leave. Like you can stand back here, even if you're standing here. Probably maybe dashing back here might get you out. Dashing back, like I think you're still in his vision, right? Like you should be dead. You should be dead. Is the point. Your team should not have let them up there, but you know, happens.
Alright, they're getting hot.
I'm a big fan of self-sustain, letting you get back in the fight earlier. Cool. Okay. Are you gonna take point? Because you shouldn't. I mean, okay. So who takes point, right? Why do supports usually take point? Because knowing why is like important on this particular map because it's weird. So I saw Vex say that supports take point because capping and pushing gives you credits. It's like 4 per second while you're capping and 2 per second while you are pushing. I don't think that's nice. That's great. Like supports do need the most credits. I mean, that's arguable even. I on most games, I've unironically like given kills over to DPS just to like feed them more, you know, MOBA style. I don't know how good that is, but like, hey, I'm a big fan of enabling my team. Maybe that's a playstyle thing. Regardless, right? I think the main reason that supports take point is not credits, but it has to do with how impactful you are how impactful you can be in a fight. Because most of the time when you're pushing cart, you're not going to see the enemy team, but you are going to see your team. So you're not going to be contributing damage much. You're not going to be contributing CC much, but you are going to be contributing healing, and that is like more than anyone else would be contributing on point, right? Especially when you're zoning. You don't need to be like holding them off for a long time. You don't need the things that a support brings. You just want like beef and DPS, and you know, that's tanks and DPS. But really, it's a question of who can you afford to lose the most, right? And usually that's the support, because the support can, well, you can go without healing for a certain amount of time. You can out of combat, and the support usually has LOS on the team anyways. So you're only losing out on the support's damage and CC, which is usually pretty small. But if you like had a tank on point, you'd lose everything the tank gives. You put a DPS on point, you'd lose everything the DPS gives. the thing about Fish Market is that, again, this push is long, right? This push is very, very long. Doesn't even start from there. It starts from back here. This is like crazy before you get to the hill, right? This is such a long. This is an Ice Mines level push. So for this amount of pushing, you can survive without healing for a while, right? You can do that. But if you try to survive, again, this entire push without healing, your team's going to fall over eventually. So usually the main tank takes point on Fish Market. And so yeah, that's a long way of saying that, like, you can afford to lose what the main tank brings the most because you need the heals because the push is so long, so you need to hold them off at the hill for long enough. So yeah, this will happen sometimes because this is what's standard, right? This is what's normal. It's not what you should be doing, though. That being said, if you have the option of you pushing the point or no one pushing the point, definitely choose you pushing the point. Ah, that's a tragic heal. But you see how your team's like kind of lowish, you know? And sure, like you just didn't heal your Koa. But you know, if you were up and the Barrack wasn't, then hey, everyone's still healthy. Okay, so I talk about the numbers game a lot in VODs, right? So this is a bad ult because of two reasons. You're losing two different types of numbers games. One, you're losing the numbers game. They have 5 people alive, you have 4 people alive, so this at best makes it even. You also have like no HP though. Your Cassie's half, your Barrack's half, your Zen's half. This is going to take you like 6 seconds to bring them all back to full. That's not even counting the enemy team shooting you. You're going to be low this entire fight. I don't think you can ever snowball this into an advantage unless the enemy team hyper feeds. That heal should 100% be on the Zen though. That he was out of caught, he's in below. You gave the Barrack back 20% HP. You like brought the Barrack from like 50% to 75% maybe. Healing the Zen out of caught brings him from like 20% to like 80, 90%, right? That's a lot more impactful, especially like just on a DPS when you have furia going on this. See, that timing was pretty poor. That was like the one fight that you've had like I don't know, your furia ults are like the one in the mid fight was like okay, but like you want to using furia ult to try and turn a fight is really weird. Like yeah, you can, don't. You know, that's not how you want to use it. You'll get other chances to win fights with furia ult. Same thing. It's like the same sort of issue. Like, you notice how like you're constantly just like seeing your team take part in fights through walls across the map. Like this is something you can fix. This is 100% something you can fix. And it sounds very just play with your team forehead, right? Like the concept is really simple. Putting it into practice is a bit harder, but you could go help your team, but I would not have dashed away. This is an ensnare Buck. You unironically outtrade that, and he dies to you because you have caught now. When Bucks jumps on you as Furia, that is the easiest beam of your life because he's jumping towards you in a nice arc. You can literally just say, okay, like you can look at him when he gets close, beam, he gets the stun. You're shooting him. You have your dash to try and dodge one of his shots, which makes him reload. Like, this is a really good matchup for you if you hit the beam and you use dash to waste one of his ammo. But instead, you use dash to do nothing really, and you miss beam because you're too far away.
Alright, 30 seconds left.
So like here, like what does playing with your team better look like? Well, it looks like not dismounting early. I know you thought you could maybe get the hill on the Makoa. That's unlucky. Honestly, dismount up to him. Ooh, you're dead here because you're not using cover. Oh, he missed. Missed again. He missed again. Big. Okay. Somehow the rando is here. That's really weird. Where did your Makoa go? How did he? Okay. So this, well, that's it's popping off. there's two things you probably do there. You probably, one, mount up to your Makoa closer, and two, use the cover that was on your right side when the Azan is shooting you. So let's see how you follow your team here. Okay, I know you've like been on mount for 2 seconds, but already following your Zen is a bit weird. You're probably just following your Makoa instead, right? That's kind of who you want to play with. You can also match his Master Item if you want. You also bought Morale Boost 2. Morale Boost 2 does nothing for you on a mid because I don't think it's going to let you build 2 alts. Morale Boost is there to either let you build multiple alts on a mid fight, or it's there to let you spam alts on defense. You can already, you're Furia. You build alts so fast, you can already spam. You can already be ulting twice around minimum. Anyone should be ulting twice around minimum unless you're like Term or Nando, in which case it's hard to build 2 ults around. You should have ult for every mid fight. So like, it's weird because like Morale 1 is there to like get you ult for your first mid fight because that's really good if you can get ults before the other enemy team does. And like Morale 3 is there to let you spam ults, but like Morale 2 like doesn't really like do anything unless you're Grover. So right here you don't dismount. Right here you don't dismount, you can go with your Koa. You've just popped Cassie ult, everyone's dismounted now. You probably mount right behind your Koa, maybe heal your barrack for the Wrath, and then ult. Then you go backline. That's unlucky. Why are you looking at point? Like listen. This barrack, you can give him a heal, that's fine. This is not where you're gonna win the fight though. Like these people are gonna like look at each other, they're putting up their great big shields, great, who cares? This is not where the fight's gonna be decided. I'd go even as far as to say that like the main tanks being on point at all is a bad call here because like they're just having no impact on the fight. They're quite literally in their own little bubble, right? So you can heal him once, just so like he doesn't die. Like you should not be looking at this. If you kill the Fernando, let's say you actually kill the Fernando. Let's say he's dead. Let's say your barrack is full HP, Fernando's dead, he's capping. The barrack stays on the objective and caps. He's not gonna have an impact on the rest of the fight though. Like it is 100% possible that like you help kill the Nando and then the rest of the team, like, cause you 2v1 the Nando, and then the rest of their team 4v3s everyone else. That's entirely possible that might happen. And in the meantime, look what's going on over here. That's the wrong button. Look what's going on like over here. Look what's going on over here, right? Like, I'd much rather you be involved in not point. Like you still kill the Saris because because the Saris is really stupid and split herself, right? She just left her team. Great, but like you don't want to look at point. You also probably want to be Fury ulting. Bit late considering the fight's been going on for like 10 seconds, but that's okay. You got the general idea. Okay, that Fury ult didn't really help you win. Your team is already like doing a really good job. Like your team is kinda diffing them. Someone is behind you. The Victor's behind you? I want to see you 1v1 this guy. He's gonna pop ult and kill you. I'm calling it right now.
Alright, they're getting hot,
That's tragic. Yeah, I would not be expecting that. Honestly, if that happened to me, I'd probably be like reading chat and just get caught off guard and die too. I don't think there's anything you could have done about that other than like realize that the Victor wasn't dead, and then like play near a corner so you can dash behind cover. Like you can maybe like play here so you can dash under and make him fight closer, or play up here so you can dash around. Otherwise, no, there's not much you can do. Oh, he's gonna carry this, isn't he? You daddy cardio Victor. L. He's booking it, dude. Oh, he's not even gonna go spawn camp you. Oh my god, you're so lucky. If I were him, I'd be at one of this tree or just beyond the hill, emoting for the third-person camera. Then right when you get like here, right in the open, he pops out. He starts the 1v1. It gets tough. What you do to avoid that is you just like take different. You don't run it down mid. You play near places that have cover and wait to get peel. Either force into a super close range fight so you can beam him, or wait to get peel because you will get peel. Eventually, your team will realize what's happening. The Ceres is 1 HP. The Ceres is 1 HP and you shot the Nando. Oh my god. So, hey, playing with your team more. What happens if you stay on mount up to your Makoa right now? Alright, what's your Makoa doing? Your Makoa is flanking someone. Okay, your Barrack dies on point. Tragic.
Alright, overtime, now or never, boys.
By the way, fun fact. If you do mount up to your Makoa and your Makoa like drops like this and then you're like up here like, wait, what the heck? You can wall jump here, dash backwards, and end up over here. So that's a pretty safe rotation for you to make. I mean, it's right in the open, but like, you know, it kind of makes things safer. Okay, don't drop. Don't drop there. There's no reason for you to drop. Like, what if things get spicy? Then you're in trouble. Okay, I think your team is pounding, and there's like a lot of small things, but like I'm seeing stuff that like I know that will get you punished. Like not following your team like that, man. Your alt usage. That's stuff that will 100% get you punished. Okay, so that spam beam, not bad, just because like you don't need it and you have Chronos free, I guess. And that makes that less punishing. I like the fire graphics in the middle of the road there. That's pretty cool. Also, just to like go back, Lightforge, I don't think it's gotten any value for you this game. I think Pyrotic Dynamo would be great if you manage to get on top of things. I think when you talk about heal priority, let me tell you, it gets a lot easier if you're actually playing with your team, being aggressive, because then you're actually you can see the people that you're trying to heal. You're not like in your own backline away from them. And yeah, just don't worry about numbers. What did the Makoa just do? Wait a minute. I want to see this. Hold up. I want to see this. Huh. Well, he went for that and didn't go for a hook off the map. Honestly, I've never seen that. That's crazy. But I can't believe he didn't go for a hook off the map. I'd Fury ult here. You can dash up. You can ult forward. You can help your Macaw. You can win the video game. But no, I'm gonna look up point. I want to shoot Nando.
Alright, they're getting hot. They're getting hot.
Dash to the left. Oh my god. The Barrack is out. It's like same thing. Like what? Your Makoa is like in their backline. He's with someone too, isn't he? Like the Kaz. Oh, the Zin's back here, right? This is where the fight's being decided. If you can help these people in the other team's backline, like do it. If you really want to be aggressive, you can save your ult for KDA ult. As a KD ult, and just like play stupid aggressive until someone looks at you, thinks, "Hey, this Fury is feeding," then tries to punish you. Then you ult out because you're damage immune. Again, we're gonna say that beam because the beam here probably just wins you the game. You don't have to burn for these on, but it's fine. Cool. Okay. You kind of, I don't want to say got carried. You picked Furia. You ulted. You like almost didn't get the chance to do anything because your teammates like hard popped off. So that's weird. That makes VODing this a little bit more awkward. But like unironically, like it was a small thing, and like VODs with wins are always going to be. I love spectator bugs. VODs with wins are always going to be a little weird. But in general, right? Stay on your mount, follow your team, and ult when you have ult when the fight is even and you are like on top of them. And that should be like the the free big things. Honestly, I think you do that, you'll do a lot better. You might not outheal the Saris. You shouldn't outheal the Saris, right? Like that's not like a thing that should happen, right? But I guarantee that you'll do better. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.